First of all, I'd like to thank all of you for coming out here tonight. It's greatly appreciated, I'm sure, by every inductee. There's a lot of things, obviously, that I would like to say. I don't think you guys want to sit here and listen to me talk all night, so I will try to make it short and sweet. I'd like to thank the Hall of Fame committee for honoring me this year, along with the others. And the thing that everybody needs to know, I certainly didn't get here on my own. Those of you that know me, I'm a pretty emotional guy, and I wear it on my sleeve, and I apologize. If I'd have told you the first time I came to Millersville that I'd be standing here tonight, I'd be lying to you. I was in 5th grade, and went to watch my oldest brothers over there, who flew in from Oklahoma this weekend. Went to watch them wrestle. You know, and I'm sitting in a gym in 5th grade, just running around, and honestly probably waiting to get out of there because we were staying in a hotel that night, and that was pretty fun when you're in 5th grade. So, long story short, a couple years later, it's the winter of 1997, and I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do with the rest of my life. And my dad was like, come on, let's go, we're going to take some trips. We took a couple trips to some schools around the state of Pennsylvania, a lot of state schools. You know, I thought, you know, growing up, I was going to go play quarterback in Tennessee, and you know, he kind of told me that, guess what, bud, that's probably not going to happen. Right? So let's start looking into some places that may be more your fit. And my dream always was, my father was a high school football coach and a teacher for years, and I wanted to teach elementary school and grow up to be a high school football coach. Coach Hockman recruited me and sold the program in Millersville, and more than anything, he sold the education that this place was going to afford me. And I was like, hey, that was important to me, because like I said, I didn't know that I was ever going to really play football in college, and just wanted to be part of a winning program and wanted to get an education. And then I had an opportunity to come, and one of the things I said to my mom and dad before I left, I was like, my goal is to make the bus. I just want to go make the bus, hold the clipboard, and I'll be happy if that happens. Well, you know, lo and behold, some things changed, and I was given an opportunity. Had an opportunity to come here and play for Coach Carpenter, who's, in my opinion, it's very biased, the best college football coach that there ever was. The things that he taught all of us about life, leadership, responsibility, I carry them with me to this day, and I'm sure I will carry them with me, and hopefully I can pass them along to the student athletes that I have the opportunity to coach. And he had such an impact on every player that ever came through that program. And it was an absolute honor to play for him. Also, while here, I had a great opportunity to be coached by a lot of outstanding people. And that's why I said people. They were great coaches, but they were better people. And a lot of them, to this day, I still consider my friends. You know, obviously Coach Mangles is one that I hold dear to my heart. It was my position coach, and he was our coordinator. And then I had the great opportunity to work with him for years. He's had a tremendous impact on the person and the coach that I've become. Coach Rankin, who's back here today as well, was another person who had such an impact on my life as a player, and again as a man, as I graduated and moved on. And he's had, whether he knows it or not, he's been a big influence on me moving along in this profession, and I thank him greatly for that. Coach Bales, and he always kept everything great at practice. It was great to see his smiling face when you go into the locker room, and there was nobody better. And the list goes on and on. Coach Schiffer, Kroll, Augustin, and you know, I apologize if I forget anybody. I'm jumbled all over the place here. I tried to write things down and get things straightened out in my mind, but those guys were all a major influence, you know, on all of us going through college. Two other people that had a huge impact on me, and I think anybody that came through probably the athletic department, were Hank. Hank, he kept me together for 4 years. He and I spent a lot of time together in the mornings for treatment. I'd go fall asleep, I think, half the time in the whirlpool, and then head to class, and then come back in to see him before practice. And he always did everything he could to make sure that I felt, we all felt as good as we could. And then the other one was Emsy. When I first went to Millersville, the first day of practice, you know, you try to get a feel for how people are, and I was pretty sure that Emsy didn't like me. I was like, holy smokes, and he had a picture of him shooting a gun on his door, and I'm like, all right, I am not going to upset that guy right there. And I asked him, you know, one day, Coach Mangle made me wear these rib pads. I never wore rib pads before, and I was like, can I get these things off? He's like, you hang around Brad Mangle too long, he's going to make you soft. I was like, okay. I was like, well, can I get these things off? And he just kind of gave me a look, and I was like, all right, that was the wrong question to ask. I came in the next day, the rib pads were off, and MZ would take them off every Saturday after the games, and then every Thursday night or Friday morning before we were getting ready to play again, they'd be back on. I appreciate that, and I don't ever forget it. The other thing, I'm sorry. The people that impact you when you go to school are what makes the most of it. And a couple of my dearest friends are sitting back in the middle of this room, and they're why I'm up here tonight. Because I had the opportunity to play with great football players, and I just played a position that got a lot of credit. That's what it was. You know, when you're a quarterback and you get some time and you throw the great wideouts, I mean, it's pretty easy. I'll be the first to tell you that. Coach Breitbach and I were talking about that earlier. It's like, what the heck, man? Just protect the quarterback and throw it a little bit, and you'll be okay. But those guys, they meant the world to me as players here. And the thing that I can tell you right now, I didn't get it at the time. You take away more of the friendships than you ever do the games. Don't get me wrong. The games are great, the wins, the losses, and everything but between that. The football is awesome, but more than anything, the friendships. Those are the things that will go on forever. And I am forever grateful to those guys and all the other ones that were, you know, that we all played with together. You know, the ones that are here right now are Matt Doherty and Greg Stever. They were two of my roommates in college, and they are great men, I can tell you that right now. You know, and real quick, and again, I'll try to make this, you know, and I'll get out of here. I need to thank my family. My mom and dad are great people. They drove all over the place watching us play in college. Dad was still coaching on Friday nights. They'd get up early Saturday morning. They'd travel all over, whether it was raining, snowing, windy, whatever the heck it was. And they were a huge support going through college and playing ball. And every Saturday afternoon, no matter what, my mom would have something good to say, even if it was, hey, well, at least you look cute in your uniform, which I'm not sure I always did, but she thought so, so that was fine. You know, and talking with my dad, he'd always have some good things to say. He'd always have constructive criticism, because for those of you that don't know, he and I have very, very strong philosophical differences when it comes to football. And I had the great opportunity to play for him in high school, and it's something that I would not trade for the world. But we had our moments. You know, you can ask my mom; she can tell you that. But I thank both of you dearly, my brothers and my sister, great people. They came all over the place to watch us play as well, and that was something that meant the world to me. And that was saying a lot, because they were literally all over the country in other colleges, and they made it to as many games as they could. And for that, I appreciate it. Thank you guys. You know, and Karen took care of a lot of us when we were in school. She graduated from Millersville just before we got into college, and it was nice to go over to her place on Sundays a lot of time and get away from the cafeteria and relax for a little bit. And she'd make all kinds of food, and we would pretty much break her with the food that we would come over there and eat. However many else there were, but we appreciated a bunch. You know, and the thing that I'll leave with, probably the most important thing about my time here at Millersville, I was fortunate enough to meet the most important person in my life, my wife Heather, sitting back there at the table. She and I had class together our freshman year, first semester. We were friends for 8 years, and she would never go out with me all through college. And I don't know if she ran out of options or I wore her down, but finally, 8 years later, you know, we went out for our first date when I was back here coaching, and now, you know, we've been married, and we're proud to have a couple young children of our own. Something I thought I would never be in a position to have kids. You know, it's like, holy smokes, who put you in charge of other human beings? But we are so proud and so blessed to have a beautiful family. And again, I apologize for being a little bit all over the place, but again, I want to thank you all so much for coming out. Thanks.